I'm back on the Erewash Canal again and it's in trouble once more. Water levels are right down. Not as bad as last time when I came to look between Pasture Lock and Green's Lock towards Langley Mill. But this section between Stanton Lock and Hallum Lock near Trowell is unnavigable and the water is dropping. And if low water levels wasn't bad enough, we've even got a sunken boat. So it's Tuesday the 20th of May 2025. Today joining me on the outskirts of Trowell. I'm just passing over the River Erewash down there. I'm just going to take a nice steady walk along the Erewash Canal. I did a bit on the Erewash Canal a couple of weeks ago when it ran empty between Green's Lock and Pasture Lock. And I intend to follow this footpath from Trowell down to Hallum Lock. But before that, I have to cross the 4-track wide Erewash Valley railway line, and that is just around this corner. So this is where the Erewash Valley line passes through our walk today. We're going to cross over this old footbridge to take us down towards the Erewash Canal. As a child in the early 90s, I spent many happy hours sat on this bridge. I used to like watching the trains. Believe it or not, I'm not really into that sort of thing. But back then I used to come down here. Very, very peaceful location. I used to remember they used to do about 20 mile an hour on this first track here, before all those trees were there. And I'd have parked my bum many times on these steps. Used to wait patiently for something coming, and when it did, I'd quite often stand above the track, directly above those speeding coal trains and other freight workings, doing exceptional speeds, I must add, on these two faster lines here. But let's move on from this. There's nothing coming, the signals are on red. Go down the steps and we'll get ourselves at Hallum Lock and onto the Erewash Canal. So here it is, this is Hallum Lock, number 66. Now then, water level is good on this side, maybe just a couple of inches down where it should be. But I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I came to see a section of this canal that was empty towards Langley Mill. The water levels the other side of this lock are unfortunately down. Not as bad as last time, but they are down. So there's the gates coming down from the lock and you've got the flow of water, but check out over there, you can see that water line, look, that has gone down in the last few hours, hasn't it? 'Cause it's still wet. And below the bridge, you can still make out that water line. I'll get us down there. You can make it out a heck of a lot better, look. That water line, that dark shaded area below the bridge and above the water. So something's gone off again, hasn't it? I saw CLT volunteers painting this a few days ago when I was down here. So a nice little job done. Yeah, it's very, very shallow. You can see the bywash just there, look. More like a small waterfall lowering itself down into the canal, but that does tell us that the water level above the lock is absolutely fine. So I'm going to push on towards Stanton Lock then, and that may be where the problem actually is. Maybe a paddle has been left up or a gate has been left open, or both, hopefully no damage. So let's leave Hallum Lock behind, and as you can see the water level as you walk along it, you'd think there was nothing wrong with it, would you? It looks fine, but it's when you get down the other side, look, you can see, no, it really isn't fine. But going forward, it does look absolutely serene, beautiful and picturesque. So, let's see what it's like further down. You can also see over there where it is dry, look, where the water has recently gone down. You're not going to believe it, but in the distance, I can see a narrowboat coming. The water is so low as well. Yeah, there you go. And he is crawling so slowly. I'm very, very surprised. Good luck to them. Well, there he goes, he's tiptoeing along. They've come from the Chesterfield Canal. That's where the lady on the towpath that's gone ahead to do Hallum Lock is based. And they're hoping that just letting a little bit of water through out of that lock will make it a little bit easier for him, because halfway up there, the weeds are very, very bad, but he's just tiptoeing along, and I believe their boat is the Blue Lady. Now just here, we're coming up to a tributary that flows into the River Erewash, away from where Stanton Ironworks was, just over there. And there it is, look, tiny little aqueduct. There are two little culverts just there. The water level must be either really good here or it's silted up to hell, because you can usually just see those archways there, and on this occasion you cannot. And that's what it looks like, panning down into the river. Just beyond that is the Erewash Valley Railway line and the River Erewash. And from this angle, look where it narrows to pass over that little tributary. You see the stonework way down still, isn't it? Oh my word, this is not good at all. Oh dear. And if low water levels wasn't bad enough, we've even got a sunken boat. It's a cruiser, isn't it? Once someone's pride and joy, no doubt. Very sunken, narrow cruiser, isn't it? Oh dear. It almost looks like it's been on fire at some point. The fact that there's not a great deal of it remaining. And it's all the more exposed with the water being right the way down. The sad thing is, look, can you see that there is still oil coming away from where the engine is? This needs removing, doesn't it? It's a terrible blot and a safety hazard and bad for the environment. That's shocking. Okay, let's leave this behind. I'll drop a message to the CRT about that. Over there again, you can see that dry patch where the water is missing. And again, on the right-hand side, just there is where the Nutbrook Canal once turned into the Erewash Canal. But that is nothing more than a culvert right in the centre of Shire. I think it's a double bore circular culvert there. Let's get ourselves round to Stanton Lock. That's just ahead of me now. I believe that the pound has filled a little bit since I started walking it, but only a little bit from where that lock has been emptied, because it was full, wasn't it, at Hallum Lock. And it has allowed the water level to rise just a little bit. And there's the overflow, look, giving an idea of how far down it is, but it's not as bad as it was. But it doesn't mean that it's better. It's just a temporary moment on the journey of the Erewash Canal, because there'll be another section, another pound, that will go empty just as this one did and the Potters and Greens Lock section did a couple of weeks ago. So Stanton Lock, number 65. It's looking a little bit better than when we started, but it's still not ideal, is it? I'm hoping that the water level on the opposite side of these lock gates is how it should be. Let's peer over. It looks like maybe 2 or 3 inches down. We'll get a closer look in a second. You can see these have been recently painted as well, can't you? Around the edge, so that's good. The gates are clearly doing the job they're supposed to be doing. The water level is reasonably good on this side. You can just see that dark line above the water and where the dry stonework is. As for the lock bywash, well, it gives us an opportunity to see the brickwork down below. It's like a toboggan run, isn't it? Let's turn it around that side. Look at that. That's very nice to see though, isn't it? The water is dead still again now. There is absolutely no movement apart from a little bit of seepage between the 2 gates into the lock pound. So the amount of water let out of Hallum Lock has clearly stopped being released. So I'm going to push on a little bit further now and head off towards the next lock at Pasture Lock. That is the next one along this route, number 64. We'll pass below the Stanton Ironworks Railway. That had a big refurbishment programme done in 2019, about 3 test trains and nothing else up there since, I believe. And then below the M1 before the lock itself. This is where the single track access into the former Stanton Ironworks comes away from the Erewash Valley Railway line. And as I say, extensive work was done on refurbishing it. They even green security fenced the entire thing off so you couldn't get on it. So I'm really not sure what is happening with that one. The M1 is up next, the canal being the only interesting bit to see below the M1 motorway. Although I can't help but think, is that another sunken boat over there? Well, that is indeed extraordinary, isn't it? A second sunken cruiser, probably less than a mile apart from each other. That looks like that's potentially been set on fire as well, doesn't it? How or why are these boats not getting removed? I don't get it, because both of them look like they've been there in that state for a very, very long time. This next bridge that I'm coming up to is Stanton Gate. There used to be lots of sidings on the left-hand side for the railway, and Pasture Lock is just around the bend. I have just popped down from that bridge and come along the other side of the M1, and we can in fact see that sunken boat. Look, CRT are definitely aware of it because they've left a letter attached to it. I'm not sure who is gonna come and look at that and read that letter, but that's extraordinary, isn't it? You've still got the engine down there, look. That's been there probably longer than the other one. I feel as an oncoming boater, it could be very easy to hit that, because if you was passing someone around here, which doesn't happen often on the Erewash, passing boats, but it does, and you're coming around on this, the left-hand side, to allow the other boat to pass on the right, I don't even know if I'd be able to see that if I was at the helm. Right, I'll go and get myself back to Stanton Gate Bridge and pick up where we left off. The water level leading up to Pasture Lock looks absolutely spot on, although there is an open gate I may well go and deal with. Yeah, what I should do, I'll pop on over these gates to close it and see if it stays shut. Right, let's give this a go. I've done this many times before, so it may be a case of it simply shuts but doesn't actually stay shut. There we go. I think all I've done is open the other one on the opposite side. But at least I've given it a go. Let's just see what happens when I do this one. It's probably just going to push the other one open again. Yeah, it is. Must just be an issue with this one. Nah, it's better than it was, isn't it? Right, let's leave this lock behind and push on. So I've just passed through Sandiacre and I'm heading towards Sandiacre Lock now, which is just after where the Derby Canal junction is. Derby Canal, quite strangely, is one I've never walked, so I need to come back and do that, so I will do that this year. Just bumped into a chap called Russ. He watches these videos, so lovely to meet you, mate. Nice chat there. And also a couple on a narrowboat. Didn't catch what the channel was, but they do YouTubing and they're heading towards the Nottingham Beeston Canal today. You are not going to believe this. There's a third sunken boat. Well, it's in better condition than the other two, but this is extraordinary. And the crazy thing is, it's still moored up. It's still tied up, look. Now, incidentally, this is dead opposite where the junctions, the Derby Canal is. That sweeps away under there. There's a bridge you can see beyond those two narrowboats. I will come back and do that in the next month or two, but right now, that is just so sad to see, isn't it? Much more complete than the other two, but still probably write-offs. Sandiacre Lock, and another gate has been left open. That boat I mentioned before is waiting to come through, so I'm doing a little favour and closing it for them. And it is looking sublime, isn't it? Off towards Long Eaton and Trent Lock. This is where I am going to leave it. Sandiacre Lock. Maybe I'll come back and continue the journey another time. Now I'm going to head off home and see what my next video is going to be. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the very, very next one. If you happen to live on a narrowboat or cruise about on a narrowboat, interesting to hear from you and maybe come and visit you and ask you what you think of the canal network as it is today. Thanks all channel members and also Facebook subscribers. See you soon. Bye for now.